Today I want to tell you about the smallest country in the world, Vatican City. Are you ready to learn some incredible facts? Let's go. Imagine in Vatican City, there's the world's only ATM with instructions in Latin. Yes, you heard that right. That's because Latin is the official language of the Holy See. Vatican City has its own bank, the Institute for the Works of Religion. It mints its own euro coins featuring the image of the current pope. These coins are legal tender throughout the Eurozone, but have become collector's items due to their rarity. Despite being geographically located within Italy, Vatican City is a fully independent state. Its area is only 44 hectares, about 8 times smaller than Central Park in New York. Imagine, you can walk around an entire country in one day. Vatican City has fewer than 1,000 residents, making it not only the smallest country by area, but also by population. And you know what's most interesting? You can't be born a citizen here. Vatican citizenship is only granted to those who work for the Holy See, and as soon as you lose your job, say goodbye to your passport. Did you know that the Pope automatically receives Vatican citizenship upon election? But he loses it after abdication. I wonder how many former popes are living outside Vatican City now. Vatican City has its own railway, and it's the shortest in the world. It's only 300 meters long. This railway is mainly used for freight delivery, but sometimes the Pope himself travels on it. Vatican City has its own army, and it's not a joke. The Swiss Guard, consisting of 135 people, has been protecting the Pope and the palace for over 500 years. Their bright uniforms, whose design is attributed to Michelangelo himself, make them look like characters from a fairy tale. Traditionally, the unit consists only of Swiss citizens. The official language of the Guard is German. All guards, of course, must be Catholic. There are 54 public museums in Vatican City with a collection of over 70,000 works of art. Imagine if you decided to spend just a minute on each exhibit. It would take you almost 49 days of continuous viewing. Believe it or not, Vatican City has the busiest pharmacy in the world. It's visited by more than 2,000 people daily. You can buy everything here from aspirin to perfume, but don't look for contraceptives or Viagra. They don't sell them here. Vatican City has its own football team, FC Guardia, and they even have their own championship. Imagine a match between teams of Vatican librarians and firefighters. Sounds like a plot for a comedy, doesn't it? The Vatican Observatory is one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world. It was founded in 1582 and is still actively involved in scientific research. Surprisingly, Vatican City has its own astronomical program. Due to light pollution in Rome, they even built an observatory in Arizona. Who knows, maybe Vatican astronomers will be the first to discover aliens?
in santità, ti preghiamo, santifica questi doni con la rugiada del tuo spirito.
In 2007, Vatican City announced its intention to become the first carbon-neutral state. Although the plan to plant a climate forest in Hungary didn't materialize, Vatican City continues to implement environmental initiatives. For example, electric vehicles and solar panels are actively used here. Vatican City houses secret archives containing documents dating back to the 8th century. Among them are a letter from Michelangelo, Henry VIII's request for divorce, and even documents from Galileo Galilei's trial. Vatican City has its own postal service, which is considered one of the best in the world. Many Italians prefer to send letters through Vatican City because this service works much more efficiently than the Italian post. Vatican City also has its own stamps. Vatican stamps are sought after by collectors worldwide due to their rarity and beauty. Beneath Vatican City is a complex system of tunnels and catacombs, many of which have not yet been explored. According to legends, countless treasures and ancient artifacts are stored there. Who knows? Maybe the Holy Grail is hidden there. It sounds incredible, but statistically, Vatican City has the highest crime rate in the world. But don't worry, this is explained by the fact that a large number of tourists come to the small population, among whom minor offenses occur. Vatican City has one of the most powerful supercomputers in Europe. It is used for digitizing historical archives and performing complex scientific calculations. Did you know that the keys to the Sistine Chapel are passed from hand to hand every morning in a special ritual? This is one of many traditions that have been preserved in Vatican City for centuries. Despite its tiny size, Vatican City maintains diplomatic relations with more than 180 countries worldwide. This makes it an important player on the international arena. There are no regular schools in Vatican City, but it has its own education system. The Pontifical Gregorian University, one of the oldest and most prestigious Catholic universities in the world, is located here. The Vatican Apostolic Library contains over 1 million printed books, 75,000 manuscripts, and 8.5 kilometers of archival shelves. Among its treasures are manuscripts by Dante Petrarch and even letters from Martin Luther. Vatican City has its own radio station, Radio Vaticana, which broadcasts in 47 languages. Can you imagine how many translators work there? Despite the tiny size of the state, almost half of its territory is occupied by gardens. The Vatican Gardens are a true paradise for botanists, with rare plant species from around the world. Vatican City has its own fire department, consisting of only 10 people. But don't worry, they have an agreement with Rome's firefighters for assistance in case of a serious fire. The Pope has his own personal helicopter. It's used for short trips around Italy. Now that's what I call traveling in style. Vatican City has a strict dress code for visitors. You can't wear shorts, miniskirts, or clothes with open shoulders. So when going to Vatican City, don't forget to bring something modest. Vatican City has its own prison, but it's rarely used. Usually, offenders are handed over to Italian authorities. Can you imagine how strange it would be to sit in prison in the heart of the Catholic world? Cars in Vatican City have special license plates, starting with the letters SCV, Stato della Città del Vaticano. Did you know that there's a humorous interpretation of this abbreviation, Se Cristo vedesse, if Christ could see this? Vatican City has its own TV channel, Vatican Media, which broadcasts important church events and the Pope's speeches. However, its ratings are not very high. It's hard to compete with entertainment channels after all. The Vatican Secret Archive, recently renamed the Vatican Apostolic Archive, contains documents dating back to the 8th century. Imagine, it stores letters from Michelangelo, Henry VIII's request for divorce, and even documents from Galileo Galilei's trial. And the most interesting thing is that some documents are still classified. Vatican City operates a unique legal system based on canon law. There's no jury trial here, and judges are appointed personally by the Pope. Can you imagine what it's like to be a judge in a state where laws are based on religious texts? Although it sounds like a joke, Vatican City seriously considered creating its own cryptocurrency. The project hasn't been implemented yet, but who knows, maybe soon we'll hear about Papa coins. Vatican City has its own traffic rules, but they're quite unusual. For example, there's no speed limit here because it's simply impossible to speed up on such small streets. And there are no traffic lights here. Imagine how great it would be if it was like that everywhere. The Vatican passport is one of the rarest in the world. Less than 1,000 have been issued. Interestingly, the Pope's passport is numbered 1. Now that's what I call VIP status. The Sistine Chapel has a sophisticated climate control system installed to preserve Michelangelo's frescoes. It regulates temperature, humidity, and even filters dust from visitors' clothes. Can you imagine how much effort it takes to preserve these masterpieces for future generations? Vatican City has its own lost and found office, and it's quite unusual. It's not just for forgotten umbrellas and bags, but also donations. Yes, sometimes tourists mistakenly throw money into fountains, thinking they're wishing fountains. All these funds are collected and directed to charity.